Hi everyone, and welcome to the 5th Bradford Cultural Voice Forum meeting. This time we are online, so thanks for tuning in. And first, we've got some introductions from our hosts.
Hello, Bradford Cultural Forum. A socially distant welcome to this little video that we've put together to sort of keep us all in touch with what's going on, and we've got some great little contributions from people. So enjoy the video. Really sorry we can't see each other in person, which was obviously the plan for today. But it was fantastic to see everyone in Keighley when we met what feels like a very long time ago now. But that warmth and that spirit and that energy that we know is a real strong part of the Cultural Forum group meeting together. We hope we can still feel that sense of togetherness digitally while watching this little video. And then when we meet again in a live setting, I'm sure all that enthusiasm and energy and vibrancy will be flowing again like it always does. So I hope everyone's okay and wish I could see you all in person. But in the meantime, lots of love. Okay, bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Kieran. I'm the Vice Chair of the Cultural Voice Forum, as many of you will know. I know we can't meet at the moment, but I'm also inspired and left hopeful at the myriad ways we can connect. And during this period, I've been able to slow down and notice what a privilege that also is. I've been getting back to immersing myself in my writing. I've been appreciating my daily walks, noticing those bluebells coming out in the local wood. And I've been connecting when I can through interactive online events, including storytelling, creative brainstorming exercises, and my local radio work. I've also been continuing my work with local and national organisations, including consulting on the future creative landscape of Bradford. And Bradford is indeed still leading the way in so many ways, as Alex said. We have a can-do, get stuck in community attitude and can keep the conversation going. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you all here as well. So stay safe and mindful, everyone. I know it can get a bit overwhelming at times, but I think it's also a place where we can really hold on to our raw humanness.
Hi all. Welcome to a Cultural Voice Forum meeting with a difference. Feels like the world's changed completely since we were all together in Keighley talking about these exciting plans for the city and the district. I wish we were all together at Biosam, but we're not. I'm here in my home office and we're talking to you in your homes, socially distancing. Despite the pandemic though, it feels like Bradford's been leading the way in a lot of ways. The council's response grants programme and the work that's come from there and other work that creatives are doing across the district has been amazing to see. It feels like now creativity and the connectivity of our creative communities is more important than ever. So we wanted to pull something together to make sure we keep that dialogue and conversation going and keep profiling the amazing work that's happening in the district. I'll let some of the others talk about what's going to happen in this video and how it's going to work, and I'll see you in the comments below for a chat during this. Keep safe. Look forward to seeing you all in real life as soon as we can.
So, as usual, we have an agenda and we're going to be hearing short updates from a few different people, and YouTube has a chat functionality. So it's either there or there. But somewhere next to this video, you should see a kind of a chat functionality. So you can always use that to sort of say hello to people or to ask questions or comment as you're watching this. So during this video meeting, as it were, video presentation, we're going to be hearing updates from people that have got some funding recently about what they're up to. We're hearing updates from people who are running programmes and projects in the city. Here's some news and opportunities and things. And as usual, we are starting with art. So next you're going to watch a short interview between me and Carolyn. So introducing Carolyn.
Obviously, when lockdown was announced, or just prior to lockdown, I had lots of projects going on. I had a major exhibition. I had a book published. My book was going to be published. I had lots of commissions and interesting work, and they all suddenly evaporated, which was quite a shock. But also, a lot of other people were in the same position. Then Nick from Bradford Council came up with the genius idea of allocating a pot of funding, the response funding, for artists to respond to the current situation. and to propose projects that address it, that might be about their own practice, it might be about the exploration through the arts in some way of the situation. And I sat and thought about what I was really interested in doing. I have 3 teenagers who eat a lot of food. That's by the by.
It's a side
Sorry.
note.
Yeah, that's a side note. Yeah. So I have 3 teenagers, and they've had their lives turned upside down, like a lot of young people. I have a 15-year-old son who's doing his GCSEs this year. My daughter's 14 in year 9, and my oldest son was at uni. So exams were cancelled, courses were stopped, young people were sent home, and suddenly their lives, as they had experienced it before, had completely changed. All those rites of passages had gone. As an artist, I was already starting to document my experience of lockdown with photographs, with writing, and I suddenly realised that young people were not out there. Their faces weren't seen and their voices weren't heard. And I thought it would be really interesting to create a project that addressed this, that enabled young people to take photographs that explored the situation they're currently in, that documented their experience. So I proposed the project, and I decided that I would run these sessions on some kind of video. It could be Skype, it could be Zoom, it could be Facebook Live. I didn't have an idea. Put it into context, I'm the kind of person that hated, and I say that in the past tense, hated talking on video, hated Skype. So it was like a big change for me. How was I going to deliver a project on Skype or Zoom? I was very fortunate in that my project was funded. I was delighted my project was funded. So I then sent out a flyer and a questionnaire which explained the project onto all social platforms, and I then received responses, and then I made the decision to hold the workshops on Zoom once a week for an hour on a Tuesday. I have over 20 young people from the ages of 12 to 18, in fact more than 20, from different parts of Bradford district. I run the sessions like a workshop. My main thing is that I teach them about how to use their phones, how to use their cameras, but very simple things like composition, things about light, looking at other artists. But the most important thing for me is that I don't dictate how they are going to take their photographs. I set them briefs. They don't have to follow those briefs. I tell them to create their very worst work. I say to them, don't do anything that you think might please me. Just do something, just experiment. I'm interested in the mundane. I'm interested in anything. Your vision is really important at this time. They didn't have to have any previous experience of photography, and quite a few didn't have. So the sessions have been going for over 4 weeks, and the images they send via WeTransfer are amazing, blow me away. I put them on an Instagram page, so maybe we can put a link to that. And the Instagram is followed by very well-established, world-renowned artists, which is amazing, who comment on the young people's work. I retweet the work. It's been picked up on Twitter by Yorkshire Post, by other local media, but also by the national media and the international media. Huffington Post have done an article, which is fantastic, and the BBC are currently working on a piece about it. And this is so amazing for the young people. And one of them, I don't just do this 1 hour a day, 1 hour once a week. It's like 8 hours a day, seriously, because these young people message me constantly. So I mentor them as well. They message me constantly. And one of them said to me, and he's in quite a restrictive situation, lives in central Bradford. He said, who'd have thought that COVID-19 could be a positive thing for me? So, it's transformed a lot of their experiences, and mine as well. Would you like me to share some of their pictures?
Yeah, I'd love you to. I'm also really interested. What do you think is so appealing to people? You say that there's so much media interest, and there's loads of like famous people following on Instagram. What do you think has kind of you've clearly hit a seam here? What do you think captures people's imagination about the young people's images?
I think they're really real, they're raw, they're creative, they're unusual, they're unexpected, and they're showing an experience that people can really identify with. And they're special, they really are. I feel that. And I think people can see that. People can't get over it when they see the age of the young people involved. So I think it's all those things together. It's they see it as somebody said one of the images is to him the definitive image of lockdown.
Wow. So
which is amazing.
Really authentic as well then. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And uninhibited. And part of it is like, I'm always saying, send me anything. Don't worry about anyone judging you. And I think they're very committed. They're kind of been on board from I haven't had a fallout. People have stayed on board. I got an email from a teacher in New Zealand the other day who saw it on Huffington Post, who was really interested in, she said, I saw it on Huffington Post. I love it. I think it's amazing. I'm working with young people who are 16, 17-year-olds who've been through an earthquake. They've been through a massacre, and they've been now in a really restricted lockdown. Would it be possible to do that kind of work here?
Wow.
So, I would love to, actually. I'd like to be able to develop it. I don't want to stop working on it. I don't want to suddenly, in 2 weeks' time, because I said randomly I do 7 sessions, I don't want to say to those young people I'm working with currently, bye, because it'll feel like one of those dive-in projects. And I think something very special has happened with that group. So I will continue it. And I am definitely exploring ways that I can enable it to happen.
Well, it's clearly, your skills and your warmth and generosity in terms of what you're interested in as well is clearly encouraging people, the young people themselves, but also people that read about it. It's clearly very inspiring. So can we see some? Can you?
Yeah, of course. I've got quite a few.
Clever screen there.
Oh, you've disabled screen sharing. You'll have to. Yeah.
Let's see what I can do. Advanced sharing options. Okay. Have a go now.
Okay. Yeah, I can do it. So I'm just going to share my screen. It's PDF. So this was the unwieldy title. Because at the time I couldn't think of anything a bit snappier. So I started, it's fine, isn't it? I started the project, and one of the first pictures that was sent to me was by Ella, this one. And I was so blown away by it. I just thought, a lot of these young people are using their phones, but it's how they translate how they feel and the way they use their the visual technology is amazing. So this is Ella. This picture here, actually, interestingly, somebody tagged in the photo editor of the New York Times onto this picture, because it was similar to, she's a practicing artist, and it was similar to some of her work. So she commented, it was like mad. So yeah, this is Ella, who always surprises me with her work. Her 3 very different photos. On week 2, this is Harry, who's 16. On week 2, 1 hour after the session, Harry sent me these 4 images. I was like, got these 4 images, and I messaged her back and I went, Harry, how on earth? This image here is seen as one of the defining images for this. So Harry said to me, well, I wanted to explore how I was feeling. So I created this. This is how I feel. And then I got my phone and I attached it to some fairy lights that were across my ceiling. And it kind of fell on my head a few times. So and she put a fisheye lens on it. And I just think they're phenomenal, extraordinary.
Brilliant. There's a touch of the Tracy Enim in the bed as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and obviously she set this up, which is really interesting. A lot of young people have responded to it and said, I completely get it. Even adults actually have said, I really understand. And what she says, I wanted to try to convey the stressful feeling of having to learn by myself in isolation with the looming fear of A-levels next year. Seems like my bedroom turned into my classroom before I knew it. A work-life balance topples over when your life is put on hold. So I get them also I encourage them to write. So they send me their writing. Sometimes I say, write something, photograph your writing. Amy, I talk to them about using light, dark, shadows, and how if you've got lots of contrast in your light, and obviously composition, lots of contrast, then look at doing it in black and white, because that makes it really impactful. So Amy has done this amazing self-portrait. I particularly love that, and her writing here. Her life is very different at the moment for her. And it's that thing, GCSEs, 16-year-olds, it's their summer festivals, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
I feel for them.
Something and then be able to celebrate that you're not doing it anymore.
It's the summer of festivals, it's the long summer break, it's the meeting each other, it's that kind of rites of passage into adulthood. Yeah, I feel for them. Chester, self-portrait. So I asked him how he'd done it. And it's really well composed. And he said, oh yeah, well, he explained, I put my phone there, put it on timer. I wanted to see how. So I think it's a great thing. And this is, he knows these people, but not, they're not family, but it's they take photographs during exercise, allowed exercise. So this is at a distance, but it's brilliantly composed. So I use it in I'll say, look at this. This is like a documentary shot, brilliantly composed. Perfect. Hamza, you don't have to say anything about that image.
Yeah, there's some real longing, isn't there, in that image?
And it's that real sense of claustrophobia and trapped. Okay. So for Hamza, this has been a complete positive experience. He sends me certificates from school that he's won. He gets sent because they're so proud of him for being part of this. And so he's kind of won lots of awards for himself, which is brilliant. And I think a great thing, positive. This is another one, Harry. Again, I think that's so powerful. Very simple images, very powerful. And then what Phoebe, I said to, suggest, okay, self-portraits. They're not selfies. If you find it difficult, you can set the scene up, or you can try reflections or using mirrors. And I just think that's absolutely works perfectly. It's beautifully framed. I like the fact you can see her phone there. And I'll say, I said to Phoebe, how about you go around doing this with that mirror in different environments? That would be quite interesting. So I suggest different things. And again, that's Phoebe's writing about her experience. Holly, I run after the first bit of the session, I also run a session for those with DSLR. So Holly's got a bigger DSLR, and I teach them about the technical side behind it. We look at light and dark, and I just think that's beautiful. And that's Esme, brilliant image by Esme's 13, a reflection in a puddle, and the daisy. And this was Hamza's. It's just genius. It's just brilliant. It's the fact that it's taken on his phone. It's the fact he's managed to get somebody to throw a tennis ball, not a tennis ball, cricket ball. And it's his experience for lockdown, and it's the thing that he loves. So I'll also say, let's look at objects that you like, things that are important to you. The colours are really nice. And then on to Harry's, the playing with shadow, the light, it just works really well. Taylor, I love that. Really. It's like, are we the fish or are we the cat? It's really well composed, and they all say something. They're not obvious, but they all really say something about that individual experience. And then there's Alice who took a photo, that's her mother, and just the negative space in that, and that feeling of aloneness and isolation. Alice, I did this thing. She's got a great camera. She used her phone, but she also has a really good camera. And so I got them to look at shutter speed and creating images with a slow shutter speed or a fast shutter speed. So that's her brilliant self-portrait and her words. So that's her with her feelings about. I pose questions as well sometimes. Oh yeah, Amy, just again, you couldn't have done that before lockdown.
Yeah.
So you can see it's a real varied images, and they're all really compelling in their own way. I love this. Ella, her granny, she called her Granny's 70th birthday. They're self-isolating. So Ella and her family drove in the car to speak to them from the car. And she took photographs from the car. And they're just really lovely and characterful.
Yeah, they make you smile, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. So there's some really positive images amongst, it's not a depressing project. They do create work that's really moving. And I think the fact that they're expressing their feelings through photography is a really positive thing. And then in between that, you get these really full of life images. And I think this is the final two I'm showing. Evie, probably taken on her walk. And they're just very simple, beautifully composed images. Nobody in them. That sense of aloneness. There must be another word for that. I can't think of it. Isolation. That's it, isn't it? Oh yeah, isolation. That's it. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Morgan, just phenomenal self-portrait here that she's taken. So yes, we'll just check see whether there's anything else. Oh, there's a few more. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jay's 12, and he takes most of his photographs outside because he doesn't like being inside. So he never documents anything inside. He really dislikes being inside. And then I just love the perspective here that Jennifer's taken. She has never done photography before. So it's great. It's like nobody's telling them how to do it. So they're just being very experimental. I guide. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the very last image. So I'll stop my share.
Great. Could you remind us of the Instagram handle if people want to follow the account?
I could. It's really complicated. So
if people Instagram search through our Lens project, would they find it there?
Yeah, I can tell you what it is. So it's small, it's through_r_lens_COVID-19_proj.
So thank you, Carolyn.
Well, thank you. And I'm very grateful to Bradford Council for having the initiative to enable this kind of work to happen.
Hello, it's Luke Sornby here. I'm making this short video from my lockdown bunker in Bingley. I spent some time in Kaliningrad in Russia in February before the lockdown, and it was a trip that was kindly supported by the Cultural Voice Development Fund as well as the British Embassy in Russia. So I just wanted to explain what I was doing there. Since then, I've been taking time to reflect on my music practice and printmaking and just general future, and I've been doing some homeworking for Fuse Art Space as well. I've been trying to do what I can to help the relief efforts, support my partner who's a key worker, and when I've not been doing that, I've just been making weird music here in my temporary studio. You can see here with all the geese of Bingley. Here's a very brief update on what I've been up to. In February, I received funding from the Cultural Voice Development Fund to go to Kaliningrad in Russia. Through a combination of funding from the British Embassy, I co-curated the UK-Russia Year of Music. This video, which is not my own, was filmed at the event. We hosted panel talks on UK-Baltic collaboration. We did workshops, and all of this marks an ongoing relationship between Bradford and its Baltic communities, like Estonia. I got to perform live in this stunning space. I made a lot of connections and potential projects to bring back to Bradford at some point. I got to explore Russia a little bit, which was definitely an eye-opener, and it's a stunning place. Now back here in my studio, I continue to make weird music. I'm still working for Fuse Art Space, albeit in a very limited capacity for now. And we're still carrying on with our plans for expansion amongst this chaos. In fact, if you could really help us out by filling in a short audience survey, and there is a chance for a cash prize. Well, thanks again to the Cultural Voice for this game-changing opportunity. And stay safe and get creative, Bradford.
Hello, my name is Jen and I'm just about to launch a new project called Wellbeing for Artists, and it's supported by Cultural Voice, so I would love for you to get involved, and I've made a short video to introduce it. We're all creative for very different reasons. Some to entertain, some to feel alive, to connect, some people to heal. It's in that incredible individuality of creative expression that connects us all together. My name is Jen Nevin and I'm an independent Bradford-based theatre maker and director. I specialise in creating socially engaged work and often work with vulnerable and marginalised groups. I'm also the founder and co-artistic director of Displace Yourself Theatre. So alongside my professional work as a theatre maker, my background is also working with people with trauma, supporting people in the care system and coordinating strategies for health and wellbeing. Additionally, I am a movement practitioner and yoga facilitator with skills in therapeutic movement. The work that I make and the way that it is made is very holistic. It's informed by all of these parts of my different training and my experiences. I'm always trying to embed a trauma-sensitive process that holds well-being at its core. Over a number of years, I've been exploring how different creative processes can support my own well-being and the well-being of other artists making work that's potentially triggering or requires significant emotional labour in its creation. I want to develop a supportive and ultimately self-sustaining network in Bradford that cares for our own and each other's mental and emotional well-being. It will be a group that meets regularly to share and support one another, and each taking turns to deliver an exercise, activity or conversation that will provide techniques, space and conditions for artists to feel and to live better together. I'm hoping to build a core group of volunteer artists who live or work in Bradford who would like to join me on this journey. I'm just planting the seed at the moment and hoping that the plant's going to grow. My intention for the Wellbeing for Artists project is a space for artists to come together, feel valued and respected as human beings, not just for their art or known for their latest project. So it's time to really come home to your body and be intimate with yourself and not having that pressure of needing to produce. So there will be space held for you to be you, just as you are. It's essential for my sustainability as an independent artist to have space held for me, and that there's a regular space with like-minded people who want to care for my well-being, and in response to that I want to offer my time to be able to care for yours. So if any of this resonates and you feel like you would like to talk more about this, then please do get in touch. At the same time, if you're a creative practitioner that has a therapeutic process that you feel would really benefit others, or you want to try out a new idea, then also get in touch and let's have a conversation.
Straight into business.
We'd like to thank the Cultural Voice Fund for enabling us to go to For the Love of It. Cecil Green Arts received £200 so that two of us could attend the weekend conference held at Walk the Plank's base in Salford, Manchester. For the Love of It is the annual meet-up for the National Association of Street Artists, a voluntary organisation with a national membership, and we were among approximately 60 artists from across the UK who met over the weekend of the 13th to the 15th of March. For us from Bradford, it was a networking weekend where we got to meet and share with other street artists from around the UK. It was the weekend before the physical distancing restrictions came into place, and as the weekend went on, it slowly dawned on me that, firstly, here we were from all across the UK, so who exactly was passing the virus to who? Secondly, that as street artists, the whole industry was about to go down and we were all about to lose our work.
So over the weekend there were quite a few workshops that we managed to go to. A lot were cancelled because people hadn't come to the event because of the start of the coronavirus pandemic. But we did go to some and they were useful. The first one I went to was Access and Inclusion, which was talking particularly about outdoor events and festivals, and also talked about when you're organising an event to have you could do an expected checklist so that people know that there's going to be, for example, loud noises or sensory spectacle, and or that it might be speech free. Also,
I was able to refresh some of my practice with physical theatre workshops in clown, mask work and circus. It was good to try ensemble work again alongside other practitioners.
There was another workshop about puppets and climate change protest, which was interesting. Just talking about how if you take large puppets to events, it can change the energy of a protest, and it can be a non-confrontational way of doing that, and can kind of dissipate the energy if there's a highly charged situation. Suddenly, 3 big puppets come in. It somehow changes the emphasis of things and de-escalates things. They're a great idea because of the images that the press can pick up by having large puppets and things there. So that can become a symbol of the event, and images, of course, can go viral and can tell a story very quickly and visually. And we heard about the puppet library in Hebden Bridge that's set.
But don't worry, it seems like all art forms can now be done by video conferencing, so we can still do our juggling. Our giant puppets. And our circus skills. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name's Lizzie. I'm the Collections Manager for Bradford Museums and Galleries. I'm just going to give you a quick update on what we're up to in museums at the moment. So as council employees, some of our staff have been redeployed and are working with vulnerable people in the community and supporting bereavement services. We're all working to support the council stay-at-home plan at the moment. That's quite big on our agenda. We have a team of people continuing to do security checks and maintain our buildings as well, just to make sure all our buildings and our collections are safe at this time. The remainder of the team are working from home and continuing to plan for ongoing and future museum projects. We have a number of crucial tasks that we're working on at the moment. One of our main tasks is around recovery planning and how we can safely reopen buildings for staff and the public once we're able to do so. The collections and community team are looking at contemporary collecting, particularly around the COVID pandemic. We already have some material coming in and we've been able to contact some key workers and organisations to ask for their help to collect in this area. We're also looking to identify local heroes and their stories. We will be doing a public call out as well, and if anyone has anything that they would like to donate or contribute to our collecting effort, then please get in touch via our collections email, which is collections@bradford.gov.uk. We're working on community engagement plans and how we can continue to engage with our users and communities at this time. We've increased our online presence as much as possible with exhibitions moving online, and you can see them on the Visit Bradford website and our own website, bradfordmuseums.org. Our team have also been creating audio recordings and blog posts which are available on our social media pages at Bradford Museums and our website. We have been trying to engage a lot on social media and participate in a lot of social media initiatives as well, so do follow us if you want to see what we've been doing. We've also been participating in a number of projects, working with lots of different groups and community groups from around Bradford, such as 509 Arts and youth groups, to look at co-curation projects and how we can increase our engagement with our sites and our collections in different ways. We will still have an exhibitions programme which will be kickstarted once we're reopened and able to do that in a safe way, and we're just looking at how we can manage visitors and movement around our sites at the moment. Our learning team are working hard to adapt their offer. They've moved some school offers online with the Inspire Me to Draw weekly events. Check out our website if you'd like to get involved with that. The team is also looking at how they can support schools and local groups in different ways going forward, and they're keen to continue to work with artists and creatives and are just looking at how they can make it possible in this new world that we're now living in. We'll be getting involved with the Science Festival in October, and we're hoping to still run some events later on in the year and next year. We're working very closely with the council to plan carefully how we can continue to have events safely. We are still developing a volunteer programme and are planning for when we can safely allow volunteers back into our buildings as well. As we have been since last year, we're still looking at what the future of Bradford museums and galleries will look like and planning to do audience consultation and development, although we're not currently sure what form that will take. We are exploring how we can increase engagement with and access to our sites and collections, especially at a time like this. A big question is, how do you engage audiences with the sites and the collections in a safe, interesting and exciting way in a time when social distancing and reduced interaction is a key thing. We're still very open to working with different people and groups and artists going forward, so if you'd like to work on something with us, have any good ideas that could help support the museums and galleries, or would like to contribute something, then please do get in touch. Bear in mind that we are a small team and we have limited access to documents in our emails at the moment, so if you do get in touch, please be patient with us and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks very much and hope you're all well and safe.
Hello, my name's Nick Greenan and I am the lead for cultural partnerships at Bradford City Council. I'm trying to think what's going to be useful to let you guys know that's coming up. There is a new group forming, which is Cultural Recovery, which will be a mix of the sector and the private sector, looking at a 12-month programme of recovery with culture at the heart of it. So what events, activities, what things can we do, what things can we pool our resources to make happen in the district. So that first session starts next week, so hopefully things will start to come and evolve out of that. So I'll be able to disseminate the stuff that comes out through the Cultural Voice, and hopefully there'll be some opportunities that will eventually come from that. Just to let you know that the response grant was amazing. We had an incredible kind of sort of response to it. I think next step for us is to sort of take stock a little bit of it, what worked, what didn't. So we might commission a bit of a kind of an independent look at it to help us inform some stuff going forward. We've also been talking to people in the sector about our grants programme, so that's an ongoing conversation about what our grants programme can look like in the future. In terms of the cultural strategy, we're still ploughing away, and at the minute we're still in the mapping stage of what we've got, what do we know, what consultations happened so far, and understanding what the gaps are, and then hopefully we can come back to the Cultural Voice with next steps and how you guys can be involved. And then I think last but not least, all the sort of local authorities have come together in West Yorkshire to look at understanding what the gaps are in funds and support that's happened through COVID. So obviously there's stuff like that we've done, there's stuff that Leeds has done, Wakefield's done, and then there's stuff that the Arts Council has done, the Heritage Lottery, and then there's obviously the central government stuff with people that have access stuff around business rates. But actually there's probably a lot of people that have fallen through the gaps and have not been able to access any of that. So we're trying to get a picture of that as a city region. So we've got a survey that's going out. I think it's open for a few weeks. And the more data and the more knowledge and more understanding we can get of what people have accessed and what they've not been able to access, and what's going to be useful for them in this next stage of recovery, is going to help us paint a picture to understand how we resource and how we support the sector going forward. So it's quite a big piece of work, and it's quite exciting that the region, the whole of the city region has come together to do this. So the more people that fill it in, the more data we've got, the more we've got an argument to say the sector needs more support. So I will send a link. I'm not going to try and do a www now, so I don't even know where it is, but I'll send a link, and I'm sure that will come out with the newsletter. So I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're all finding ways to keep yourself busy and occupied, and keep your minds healthy, and just can't wait until things improve and we can be in a room together. Okay, thanks a lot. Take care.
Hi guys, good evening. It's Anne here from Impressions Gallery. I'm broadcasting this from my garden in Cottingley, which is famous for the photographs of the Cottingley ferries. As you can see, some ferries have come out to join me tonight. They say hello to you too. This is just going to be a small film to tell you what Impressions has been up to during lockdown and some of the projects we're going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks. One of them is an amazing project called Bradford Family Archive, funded by Bradford Council. The good fairy of Cottingley told me to do that, always on message. But I'm going to pass over now to my colleagues who are going to fill in more. So good night from me and good night from the fairies of Cottingley. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thanks, Anne. So one of the projects we've been doing during lockdown is the Mass Isolation Project, which is an Instagram project exploring people's experiences of lockdown. You can find us on Instagram at mass_isolation_IG. I don't know if you can see that. So if you want to upload your own photograph of your experiences of lockdown, just add the hashtag massisolationig to your post. But go and find us and have a look. It's incredible. There's 1,208 entries so far.
Hi there, my name is Asya and I'm a New Focus assistant from Impressions Gallery, and I've got some news to share about what New Focus, our young people's collective, have been up to recently. So on the 20th of March we launched the digital project of Forget Me Not, which is focused on 12 young people who are sharing stories about their family history. So we combined them all to make a short film about all our stories together, and the end result is just really amazing. And what's even more amazing is that we've been selected as a highlight for BBC Culture in Quarantine.
And New Focus totally rock. As well as being on BBC Culture in Quarantine alongside The Clash, they have also developed a new project called the Bradford Family Archive, with thanks to Response Fund from the Bradford Council. They were so inspired by the Forget Me Not project that they wanted to develop a project that gave everybody in Bradford the opportunity to share their family photographs and heirloom objects. I'm going to now show you a little film that they've made to promote the project. It shows Sarah sharing her story, and it also explains how you, at home, can get involved with the project.
Hi, my name's Sarah. The heirloom object I've chosen is my mum's old rosary beads. She used them whenever she needed guidance or in times of need. My mum was a staff nurse at the BRI for over 30 years. She was a very kind and caring person, and those are qualities that I try to embody every day in my own life.
One last thing, guys. New Focus are also running special events on Zoom every Thursday at 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. So they're called Photographs and Laughs. And the idea is that you can bring along a photograph or an heirloom object and share your family story, or you can chill out, sit back, relax, and listen to other people in Bradford share their family stories. If this sounds like something you're interested in, then you can just email newfocus@impressions-gallery.com. Why not zoom in and have a laugh? Thank you.
Hello, for those who don't know me, I'm Lisa Malahan. I am the Project Director of Bradford Producing Hub. Just coming on to tell you some news and what we're up to. But before I started, I just wanted to say that it's been so exciting seeing how Bradford has responded to the current crisis and how our creatives have really risen to the challenge. And it's been wonderful to feel part of a community that is really doing things differently and trying to make sure our communities are still engaged. And I just wanted to name check some brilliant stuff. So really quickly, those are people like Tanya V, Bradford Fringe, Bradford Pride, all the awesome work that's being done through the Bradford Council Response Fund, Liberty Arts and reaching communities in their homes. I mean, it's just all brilliant, and I just wanted to say it's great. So that's starting off. So back to Bradford Producing Hub. We've got a newsletter that's just gone out, so a lot of this content is in there, but I just wanted to just touch on a few things. So the first section is about events and activities that we've got going on, obviously online. So we had a show and tell last month, which was Haris Ahmed and Nabila Hafiz, which was fabulous. And we've got next one of those coming up. And this time we've got Aina Khan and Lloyd Tranquil. So that's on the 20th of May at 3 p.m. So join us on Zoom. We also had a fantastic front room poetry session last month with Toria Garbett. And we've got another one of those coming up too. And this next time is the brilliant Lisa Lux. That one is on the 27th of May at 7 p.m. And there's also an open mic. So if you are spoken word poet and you want to have a slot on that, then make sure you let us know. So those are some of the kind of activities and things we've got going on online. So we've got a training and development strand. And there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out on that. And lots of this is quite new. So the first is we've announced a new series of work called the extracurricular sessions. And those are kind of one-off online training opportunities in particular things. So the first whole bunch of them are about different jobs in the arts. And we're kicking off with Aisha Khan with an introduction to directing. And that's happening this Thursday, the 14th of May at 11 a.m. So make sure you get signed up to that. There'll also be ones on production management, on producing, and a whole load of other things in between. And then we've got full sort of training programs that we're developing. And the name for those at the moment is Get It Done. And the first of our Get It Done training programs is going to be aimed at producers. So we'll be looking at people who are new to producing or who are self-producing artists or who think they may want producing as part of their careers. And so we're going to be doing a call out and loads of information for that probably next week. So keep an eye out, and that's a 15-month training program. Only one day a month, don't worry. So that's coming soon, that's Get It Done. We've then got opportunities and ways to actually get involved in Bradford Producing Hub. So one that's been going around for a while is the Creativity Council. So that will be a kind of steering group that help really ensure that Bradford's voices and people are heard constantly throughout. And we're being challenged in terms of the choices we make and all of those things. So the Creativity Council deadline is this Friday. And we really want to make sure that has a really wide range of different people, not just arts and creative people. So please do tell your friends and make sure that we've got a really good selection. All you have to do is drop us an email and tell us why you're interested. There's no big application form or anything like that. What we do have an application form for is the Creativity Council Coordinator. So we need somebody to really hold our Creativity Council well, make sure that they're supported, that it's coordinated well, that they're just looked after, well trained, all of those sorts of things. And so it's a really lovely job, the Creativity Council Coordinator. It's a freelance position, an initial short-term contract that's very likely to be extended further. And the deadline for that is Thursday, the 21st of May. So that's a week on Thursday. So do make sure you download the information from our website and have a look at that and again, help us spread the word. That would be great. And then there's a kind of funding strands. So we have our Spare Bob funding. So far we've supported 15 people through that and allocated just over £7,500. We have about the same amount of funding again. So there is absolutely opportunity. And now the Spare Bob's really about personal and organisational development, creative development. So it could be that you want to learn something new. It could be that you need advice in something. It could be that you want to test something out or try something. It's not about funding creative projects, but it absolutely is funding about things that can help your creativity develop or your organisation develop. So that's Spare Bob. The limit for that is £500, but you can apply for access as well on top. So have a look at that. And then the general stuff. So we've been providing lots of mentoring and support. We've been doing organisational development sessions with people. We've been helping people with technical advice and how to get online with their work and everything sort of in between, just lots of guidance. We've been, Jenny Wilson came in and helped give fundraising advice and she still has a bit of time left too. So just make sure that you're thinking of us and we really are here to support the sector to develop and be the best we can be. And it's why I started off by saying with just how great we already are. And, you know, whatever Producing Hub can do to support that and to help that continue and to help it grow is really why we're here. The secret information is that we will be announcing our commissions soon as well. So they will hopefully go live in early June and we'll be calling out for a series of commissions and R&Ds. And there's lots more information around that will be coming soon. So keep an eye on Bradford Producing Hub, keep an eye on our websites, on our social media, make sure you signed up to get the newsletter, and just give us a shout. If you're interested in any of the things that I've just talked to you about, to keep it simple, let's just say email hello@bdproducinghub.co.uk and we'll get back to you. And I'll make sure it's sent on to the right people in the team to deal with it. So any of the things, the show and tell sessions, the front room poetry, the training and development, the extracurricular sessions, the creativity council, the jobs, the general help, just email hello@bdproducinghub.co.uk and we'll make sure we can do what we can to help. So I can't wait to get all back in a room with you all. I miss everybody very much, and let's just keep doing all the brilliant work we've been doing. So thanks. See you later. Bye.
Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Saima Aslam. I'm the director of the Bradford Literature Festival. Thank you so much to the Cultural Voice Forum for giving BLF the opportunity to take part in this brilliant virtual gathering today. Last month, we had to take the really sad decision to cancel BLF 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. At the point, just as our programme was about to go to print, it was a really heartbreaking moment for myself and the team who had worked so hard to pull together a really brilliant programme of headline names from across the UK and abroad, as well as fantastic debut authors and a new international artist residency programme, as well as our partnerships with the National Youth Theatre, the BBC, the British Museum. We were also really excited because we have a new community engagement manager who had been delivering a year-round communities programme, and we would really wanted to see how that would translate into engagement with the festival. However, that is as it is. Where we are now is that a lot of the BLF staff has been furloughed at the moment. Those of us who are working are doing so while being ably assisted by toddlers and teenagers and dogs and the occasional Morrison's delivery driver. But we're proud of the fact that we've been able to keep our book clubs going, the poetry workshops going, and create really lively social media content for people to engage with. And also we just took part in the last weekend in the Big Book Weekend, where we delivered a really fantastic session on feminism and rebellion. We also ran our first ever Instagram live multi-line poetry event, which was also transatlantic. That was run to raise funds for the Bradford Hospitals charity and the Food Bank for New York City. So thank you to those of you who joined us and also supported the charities. At the same time, we've been working to put together a programme of content that hopefully will be useful, entertaining and inspiring at this difficult time. The summer programme, which we're planning for June and July, will be announced in the next couple of weeks. It will be free to access and will include digital schools days to help with homeschooling, a series of social media commissions, and across the 10 days when the festival would have taken place, we will be releasing new content every day, from in conversations to lectures to workshops. So please do watch out for that announcement. This has been a really steep learning curve for our organisation in lots of ways, and I'm sure you can empathise with that. Distance working isn't easy when you're used to bouncing ideas around an office over lots of cake and hot chocolate. And also our focus with the festival has always been to bring people together in a physical space. But along with the quick learning, we're really grateful to our funders who've enabled the digital programme, and also to the wider sector, both in Bradford and nationally, who have displayed a real sense of solidarity and been so generous with their learnings and advice. We're currently scoping out the 2021 festival and also our Words in the Winter Weekend. We hope that by the 2021 festival, the COVID situation will be such that we can have live events again, and that is what we are working to. Now, while some of the 2020 programme will translate across, a lot of 2021 will be new content. So if you are interested in partnering with us, please do get in touch. You know where we are, and we'd be really happy to chat things through. So until then, keep safe, keep well, keep in touch. Our Zooms and Skypes and emails with you are really keeping us going, knowing that we're all in this together. It's hugely comforting. So take care and stay safe, and see you soon.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Davis and I'm an actress born and bred from Bradford. Thank you for asking us to do a bit of an intro for the Cultural Voice meeting. It's great to be part of it. So currently I am developing my own personal story titled Full English, and I'm doing that with Bent Architect. And right now we've got a bit of a social media challenge which we've just launched this week, which is getting Bradford to connect and share their memories. It shows it all in the video, but I'm doing that with Bent Architect. And a massive thank you as well to Bradford Council, who gave us some funding from the response grant, so to develop this idea. So hope you're all well, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you all in person. Bye. A lot of people don't even know I'm from Canterbury Estate. Being 8 years old and singing Spice Girls Wanna Be in the Fox and Pheasant pub with my best mate Kirsty. Growing up and everyone being half caste, mixed race, half Asian, whatever you want to call it, and it being the norm. Like everyone, lockdown, COVID-19, it's made me realise how much I love and appreciate my family, how much I miss them, and how much I need them, my nan especially. The only blessing from all of this is that my nan doesn't actually know what's going on. She doesn't understand that right now there's a pandemic and that the world has stopped. She doesn't understand that we don't go and see her every Monday or Tuesday or wherever it is, because she's lost the track of time, because she's living with dementia. Full English. It's my story. Well, actually it's my nan's story. If you think about it, it's everyone's story. So, this is my idea. Canterburyans, people from Homewood, Buttershaw, Bailey, Ravenscliffe, Thorpe Edge, Bradford. We need to connect. So, I'm going to start a challenge, a Facebook challenge. You've got to post one picture or a song or a memory that reminds you of living on your estate. And you've got to hashtag it where you're from. So for me, it'd be hashtag Canterbury Kid.
And so concludes the 5th meeting of the Cultural Voice Forum. So thank you so much to everyone who put the videos together today. We really, really appreciate your efforts. And also thank you for tuning in. If you've got this far, I salute you. There's a couple of things to mention in any other business. One is that Artworks on their YouTube video channel have or just about to release a video about how to make videos on your iPhone or short films on your iPhone, which I think is particularly good during lockdown. So if you're interested in that, have a look on the Artworks YouTube channel. The other thing to mention is that we're going to have our Cultural Voice newsletter going out in June. So if you have anything to put into the newsletter, that can be jobs, opportunities, events, anything that you want to kind of share with the sector, you need to send anything to Kate by Monday the 8th of June, and we'll give you a reminder just before then too. And yeah, as ever, just get in touch if you've ever got any questions. If you want to find out a bit more about anything you've seen or heard in the video today, you can email us on hello@thebritbox.co.uk, and it'll be lovely to hear from you. Take care everyone, bye.